let others know na I'm already here and we can start. Can you hear me? Audible po ba ako? Okay. Ngayon, parang yan. Pull out ko lang ang file na ituturo. Fans. Natatandaan niyo ba kung saan natapos yung ating discussion? Na-discuss ko naman sa inyong Helicalantena, ano? Tama ba yon? I was able to discuss helical antenna and parabolic antenna, right? So where did we end up? Saan tayo natapos? Hanggang slot antenna. Okay, slot antenna. Okay. Pero parang sa section 2, natapos ko yung slot. No? Hanggang patch ang section 2, I think. Tama po ba? Yun. Pero anyway, konti lang naman yung diferensya. Ano? Ulitin ko lang, mula sa slot antenna kasi yung section 3, hanggang doon lang pala kami. Ayan. So, I don't have any writing devices with me right now. So, where do I write my solution? Share my, siguro entire screen na lang. Kasi pag nagsulat ako, kasama na yun. Ano? Ay. Ayan. So, na-discuss ko rin slot antenna with section 2. At dito ako natapos with section 3. Okay. So, horn antenna yung sunod. Ano po? After the slot antenna, we have the horn antenna. So, the horn antenna is actually an opening at the end of the waveguide. So, this is a waveguide. Remember, a waveguide is a hollow metal tube through which radio waves can propagate via reflecting back and forth. Yan. And then at the end of the waveguide, there is an opening like this, which looks like a pyramid. That's why this is called a pyramidal horn antenna. So this dimension is parallel with the magnetic field, and this dimension is parallel with the electric field. Kaya ang label niyan ay DH at saka DE. Yan. So the horn antenna is also a directive antenna, and it can be used to feed parabolic reflector antennas. So horn antennas can be viewed as the interface between a waveguide, this is the waveguide, and the free space. The gain and the directivity depends on the type of horn and its dimensions. So this is the most common type of horn antenna. We call it the pyramidal horn antenna, whose gain can be calculated using this formula. 7.5 DE, ito yung DE, yung height. Sa yung DH, yun yung width ng opening, divided by lambda squared. And for the beam width, along the horizontal or the magnetic field, which is also along the horizontal, of 70 lambda over D. Similar to that of a parabolic reflector antenna, if you remember, the formula is 70 lambda over D. So the angle, this time, the angle along the electric field, yung vertical angle niya, 56 lambda over DE. Pero mas tinitingnan or ginagamit natin yung horizontal angle eh. Kasi yung definition ng beam width along the horizontal plane. 70 lambda over DH. Okay po? Can you manage, guys? Nakaka-catch up po ba sila? Okay, sunod. Patch antenna. So itong patch antenna na ito, hanap tayo ng totoo ha. Totoong patch antenna. Yan. So let us see. Yan. These are several images of, gawin natin real image. Yan. So these are examples of real patch antennas, as you can see. Ito, tingnan mo. Oh. Ngayon, ang liit lang, oh. Diba? Yan, liit lang siya. So, depende sa frequency. Makikita mo naman na maliit lang yung dimension niya kasi maliit lang yung frequency. So, sa isang patch antenna, normally, ang binabago is ito, oh. Yan. Itong lalim nung indentation na yan at saka yung spacing. Ayan, no. Doon sila nagkakaiba-iba. Sir, paano po nalalaman yan? Depende sa operating frequency na gagamitin mo. At depende sa dielectric na gagamitin mo. Tingnan mo ito, oh. Yan din, oh. So, meron din dong dalawang hukay. Tapos dito may dalawang slots. Diba? So, this is one of the antennas which you can potentially design. Kaso nga lang, of course, you need to make some novelty. Ano ang bagong i-implement mo na hindi pa nagagawa ng iba. Diba? So, if you'll be selecting the patch antenna for your antenna design, what novelty would you like to introduce? Diba? So, patch antenna, radiation pattern. Ito natin. Ayan. So the radiation pattern of a patch antenna, of course, is in a direction that is perpendicular to the direction of the plane. No? Asan ba yung direction or plane ng patch antenna? Ayun, no? Ayan. Kung ito yung patch, as you can see here, pupunta yung radiation dun sa direction na perpendicular dun sa patch. Walang pupunta sa likod kasi doon ay may ground plane. I-reflect lang siya ng ground plane. So the ground plane acts as a reflector, preventing the radiation from getting into that direction. Naintindihan po ba? So ang isang patch antenna kasi, yan. Ano ba ito tanggalin? Yan. Ang isang patch antenna, meron siyang metallic patch placed a small fraction of a wavelength above a conducting ground plane. Ayun, no? Yung conducting ground plane na yan, pakita natin yung image. Yan. May ground plane sa ilalim, may conductor. Yung conductor na yon ang nagsisilbing ground plane na magre-reflect ng radiation papunta dito sa side na ito. Yan. So, ang radiation dito pupunta. Kasi andito yung patch. So, this one is a copper patch, metallic yan. Then we have the dielectric and then the ground plane. Ano? So, again, yung shape ng patch, nakadepende yan sa iyong design, which would depend on several factors like frequency, the dielectric of the dielectric constant of the material that you'll be using. Okay? So, sabi dyan, patch antennas are low in cost. They are compact at UHF and microwave frequencies and have a gain on the order of 6 dBi. Mataas din yung gain nila. Most of the radiation is in a direction perpendicular to the plane of the antenna and on that patch side of the antenna. Kasi nga po, hindi siya pupunta sa kabilang side kasi may ground plane na nagre-reflect. The ground plane prevents the patch from radiating very much in the opposite direction. Kagaya ng aking dinidescribe kanina. Now, so we can feed the patch antenna using a coax kagaya nung mga nasa images kanina. Ito oh. No? Aha. There's that. All. Patch antenna. Yan. Nasaan yung yan, ito oh. Yung makikita. Yan no. Ito yung feed point kung saan ikakabit mo dito yung coax. Yan. Naintindihan po ba? Ayan no. May termination. Ito paper ito. A patch antenna with enhanced gain and bandwidth for sub 6 GHz and sub 7 GHz 5G wireless application. Napakagandang reference, 'di ba? So submission received May 8, 2023. So bago-bago pare. So yan, you can use this as a reference sa pagde-design ng inyong antenna para malaman yung step-by-step procedure. Download ko nga. So as you can see dito, nasaan na yung antenna nila? This is actually what you'll be doing. Ganito talaga yung gagawin ninyo. Ganyang paper. Sana mai-publish nyo. Asa na yung actual antenna ng may ano. Yan. As you can see, ito yung patch nila. Tapos ito yung papunta sa feed line. At ito yung connection. Papuntang coax. Yan. Dito ikinakabit yung coaxial cable. Diba? So, you'll be designing something like this if you want. If you would be choosing a patch antenna, of course, you need to introduce some novelty in the design. Okay? It can also be fed by a microstrip line. Now, let us solve some problem. Ano po? Okay. Dahil wala po akong pangsulat, open na lang ako ng Word, ha? Ay, Diyos ko. Ayan. Dito ko na lang po isusulat ang aking solution. Ano? So, we have a transmitter which is an output power of 25 dBm. Ayan. And is connected to a 2-meter parabolic antenna. Drawing natin ha. Insert tayo pagpalagay ng ito ang transmitter natin. Ayan. TX. Tapos, may 3D model ba din? Antenna, pagpalagay. Naghanap eh. O ayan. Pangit naman ang antenna. Insert. Yan. Pangit ang antenna. Wag na nga. Gamit na lang tayo ng triangle. No. That will serve as our antenna. Yan. Okay. So, paliitin natin slide. Yan. Tapos, i-connect na natin yan. connector. So, this is your antenna. Ano po? Kapalin natin ng konti para mukha mo. Ay, grabe naman yan. Okay. So, dine, pwede tayong mag-add ng text. Ito ang transmitter. Tapos ito ang antenna mo. Diba? Ang sabi sa problem, ang transmitter daw ay may output na 25 dBm. Okay. Ilagay natin yan. Insert text. Yan. Magkano po ang output power ng transmitter? Yan. Power ng transmitter equals, how much is that? 25 dBm. dBm. Yan. Ayun. Ayun. Tapos, ano pang meron? Patayin ko nga ito. Tapos, ano pang sabi? It is connected to a 2-meter parabolic antenna. So this one is a parabolic antenna via a 30 feet coax. Magkano yung attenuation? 6 dB per 100 foot. Kopyahin ko na lang to. Control C, Control V. Kaya natin dito. Magkano ang attenuation ng antenna? Alpha. Yun. Okay. Ang kanyang alpha ay 6.5 dB per 100 feet. I'm sorry. Yan. At yung diameter ng antenna, magkano po? 2 meters operating at 1.8 gigahertz. So, lagay natin dito. Yung diameter ng antenna, D, equals 2 meters. And ang operating frequency niya, 1.8 gigahertz. Yan. Ang tanong, effective isotropic radiated power. No? So, dito ang hinahanap is EIRP. Ano ang hinahanap? Lagay po natin EIRP. Okay, so how do we find that? So basically, madali lang hanapin ang EIRP. Ano ba yan? Bakit silang lahat ay bumababa? Yan. Ang EIRP ay equal sa output power ng transmitter. Ayun, no? Di ba ito may output power? Yan. Ang sunod dyan, dadaan siya sa transmission line. Ano bang nangyayari sa transmission line? May loss. Di ba minus mo yung loss sa transmission line? No? Minus D, loss sa transmission line. Tapos pagdating sa antenna, magkakaroon ng gain. Kaya anong gagawin mo? dadagdag mo yun. Plus gain ng antenna. Naintindihan po ba? Okay. So, unahin natin guys yung gain ng antenna. No? Yung G ng antenna, hindi naman given ang efficiency. So, we can assume 55% efficient yung antenna mo and use the formula na dinerive natin. 17.8 plus 20 log FD. Diba? Guys, makikisuyo po ako pa-compute kasi wala akong calcu. 17.8 plus 20 log of F. 1.8 times yan. So, ang laki naman ng multiplication sign na yun. Ito na lang. Ay, ang laki din. Ay, Diyos ko, ang lalaki lahat. Haloka. Ano ba naman yan? Are. Ay, Diyos ko, lahat ang lalaki. Anyway. 1.8 times D na 2. Yan. Okay. Kalibre na lang. Okay, sunod. Ano po ang nakuha nating gain ng antenna? Pasuyo, wala lang akong calcu. Sige na nga. Sa cellphone ko na lang. Ayaw nila eh. $28.93. So now, pwede na tayong mag-compute ng EIRP. Ano po? So, again, simulan natin sa transmitter ng output power ay 25 dBm minus yung loss na 28.93 dB plus yung gain na magkano? Ay hindi. Ang loss pala ay, hindi yan. Ang loss ay ito, 6.5 dB per 100 feet. Yan. Times ilang feet lahat yon? 30 feet. 30 feet. Yan. Tapos plus yung gain ng antenna. Okay. Equals. So we have 25 minus 6.5 divided by 100 times 30 plus 28.93. So the answer is 53.93. Ang unit of course is dBm. Kasi power yan. So medyo malaki yan. Ano? 53.93 dBm. So pwede natin yan convert sa watts. In watts. Ano nga po mag-convert yan sa watts? 10 raised to 5.393 times 0.01 EIRP equals, convert natin yan sa watts, 10 raised to, ano ba yan? Ibang calculator to eh. Paano ba yan? Hindi. 5.393. 10 raised to x. Ayun. Tapos, times 0.001. But Ang laki nung nakuha ko. 247 watts. Ano mali? Guys, pa-check nga po kung tama yung nakuha kong gain.
Tama po, sir.
Tama ang gain. 17.8 plus 20 log ng 1.8 times 2. So, 28.93. Tama naman. Tapos, store A. After that, we have 25 minus 6.5 over 100 times 30 feet. Yan, plus yung nakuha kong sagot na nakastore sa A equals, yun lang naman, 51 lang naman eh. 51.98. Mali naman to eh. Yun naman sinabi. 51.98 dBm. Again, 25 minus 6.5 over 100 times 30 plus alpha A. So, we have 51.98. Now, in watts, ilang watts yan? 10 raised to, okay. 10 raised to, fraction sign, answer, divided by 10 times 0.001. 157.62. 157.62 watts. So, anong ibig sabihin nun? Ang laki niyan. Ayan, no? 100 watts. Imagine, yung charger mo, pag sina-charge mo, ilang watts lang? 15 watts to 20 watts. Malaki na siguro yung 30 watts. Pero walang charger ng cellphone na 100 watts. Tingnan mo naman, pag nag-charge yung cellphone mo, nag-iinit na yan, di ba? Nag-iinit. Sa 30 watts pa lang na charger, nag-iinit na yung cellphone mo. Can you imagine kung yung mukha mo itatapat mo sa tapat ng antena na bumubuga ng radiation 152.6 watts? Mararamdaman mo talaga yung init. Mararamdaman mo yung power. Ano? So, yun po ang ating interpretation doon sa ating sagot. Yung power na yan ay sensible. No? Bakit? Mararamdaman niya ng ating katawan. Maiinitan ka. Yung init na nararamdaman mo pag tumapat ka sa antena, yun yung energy ng radiation na lumalabas sa antena. Naintindihan po? Linaw ba yan? Okay. Sunod, antenna arrays na po tayo. Ano? Yung antenna array, actually, it's a collection of several antennas working together as a single antenna. Okay, sir. Why is that we combine several antennas in order to come up with a single antenna? Okay. The reason is you want to increase the directivity. You want to increase the directional pattern of the antenna. Ano? That is the purpose of array antennas. We use antenna arrays to get more gain and directivity. Now, so to create an antenna with directivity and gain, higher directivity and higher gain, you can assemble 2 or more antenna elements to form what you call an antenna array. Patingin nga ako kung nakikinig pa kayo. Pa-open nga po ang mga camera. Patingin kung may mga nakikinig pa. Ayan, nakikita ko na ang mga magaganda nilang mga kamukhaan. Bakit sa time zone ni Libaton, parang hating gabi pa rin? Nakakalok. Hoy, Libaton, nasaan ka?
Nasa kwarto po ako, sir. Wala po kasing anong liwanag dito.
Sino kasama mo sa room?
Ako lang po.
Ay, wala pala siya dyan.
Wala po ako sa Batangas.
Nasa Laguna ka?
Opo.
Ay naman, kakapaiyak. Hu. Okay. Pasensya na talaga kayo kasi ako'y tinanghali ng gising. Paano ba naman kagabi, napainom na naman ako sa Camellia. Tapos kami mag-alas-3 na. Ayan. Ayun. So anyway, ang mahalaga nakapag-start na tayo ng klase. Now, madali lang naman po yung topic. Ayan, addition, subtraction lang. San hihirap yan? Mag-a-add at saka magsusubtract ka lang. Wala kang division eh. Wala kang derivative. Di ba? Wala kang square root. Napakadali. Addition, subtraction, multiplication lang. Yung mga ganyang bagay, dapat ay mani-mani na lang sa'yo. Di ba? Kung naunawaan mo yan, madali lang. Addition, subtraction, multiplication. Pag grade 1, kung ako nga magtuturo sa grade 1, yan ang gagawin ko example ng addition at saka subtraction. Example lang naman, di ba? Okay. So, taas nga ang kamay ng mga taga-section 2. Taas ang kamay ng mga taga-section 2. Ayan. Saan kaya ang play natin after? Baka bigla ako mag-aya sa Mabini, tapos cancel ang quiz bukas. Gusto nyo yarn? Taas naman ang kamay ng mga taga-section 3. Ang taga-section 3, taas ang kamay. Nandiyan ba si Angel?
Present, sir.
Sobrang funny talaga ni Angel. Nakakatuwa. Okay. Mutya ng section 3. Diyos ko, Panginoon. So tapusin na natin ito para makapag-play na tayo. No? Kung magpa-play tayo, I promise, walang quiz bukas. Yun ay kung matutuloy ang play. Diba? Now, balik na tayo sa ating antenna array. Ito may rayuma ito kasi laging nananakit yung kanyang likod. Kaya sabi niya, array ko. Hindi na masyadong haway yung joke ko doon. Ayoko na. Okay. So, may dalawang klase ng antenna array. Yung isa, parasitic. Yung isa naman, driven. Ano po? Parasitic array at saka driven array. Sir, anong pinagkaiba ng dalawa? No? Ito ang pinagkaiba nila. Ang mga parasitic antenna array, may element dun sa antenna which is directly connected to the power source. Dun sa transmission line, connected siya. Tapos yung ibang mga antenna elements, hindi connected sa power source. Yun lang yun. Ano po? Kaya sila tinatawag na parasitic elements. Why? Because they don't get energy directly from the transmission line. They only parasite, no? On the driven element. So ano yung driven element? Yun yung element ng antenna na directly connected sa transmission line. Ayan, no? A parasitic array consists of a basic antenna connected to a transmission line. Plus, in addition to that, one or more additional antenna elements that are not connected to the transmission line. Ano po? So, yung mga hindi connected, ang tawag sa kanila, parasitic elements. At yung connected, ang tawag sa kanila, driven elements. Sir, may tanong me. O anong tanong you? Paano magkakaroon ng kuryente yung mga elements na hindi connected dun sa antenna element or sa transmission line, di ba? Paano magkakaroon ng kuryente doon? Paano magkakaroon ng voltage doon? Hindi pala sila directly connected sa transmission line. Di ba? Can you answer that question? How does these parasitic elements receive energy where in fact they are not connected to the transmission line? Can you guess or perhaps think of the answer? Yes, Paul. Paul, go ahead, Paul.
The optional or the
Fraunhofer zone, sir.
So ano meron?
Either the Fresnel or the Fraunhofer zone. Electromagnetic radiation.
Not the radiation part. What do you think is the reason? How do these parasitic elements receive energy from the antenna where in fact they are not connected to the transmission line? Kasas?
May instances po ng electromagnetic coupling po kahit wala pong physical connection dun sa feed line.
Yes. Yung electromagnetic coupling is by means of induction. Nakaka-receive ng energy yung mga antenna elements na parasitic kahit hindi sila directly connected sa transmission line because of coupling which is essentially electromagnetic induction. Naiintindihan po ba? By means of electromagnetic coupling which is electromagnetic induction dun sa conductor na driven kasi connected. Mula dun sa elements na connected sa transmission line, doon magkakaroon ng electric at magnetic field. Yung electric at magnetic field doon, mag-i-induce ng current at voltage dun sa mga parasitic elements. Okay? So that's how it works. Tingnan nga natin kung merong YouTube animation yan. How a parasitic antenna array works. Wala namang maganda-ganda. Yan.
Sir,
Ano rin?
Sir, wala pong audio.
Anong audio? Dito natin.
Each other out. The maxima and minima correspond to the lobes and non pattern of a single antenna is too wide, or if its gain is too low, antenna arrays come handy. Antenna array is typically a setup of two or more identical antennas working as one by being fed the same signal simultaneously. Forming an antenna array has two main effects. Compared to a single antenna by itself, an array has radiation pattern with one main lobe and the side lobes and higher resulting gain of the main lobe. This gives antenna engineers the freedom to tweak the gain and the radiation pattern as needed. How does it work? This is how the electromagnetic fields of a single patch antenna look like. Looking at the fields of an array of two patch antennas, there's a clear difference. There are directions where the fields are strong and in other directions they are weak. This is caused by the wave interference. The maxima come from constructive interference when the waves from both patches have the same phase, adding together, resulting in a stronger wave. The minima come from the destructive interference, where the waves have an opposite phase, canceling each other out. The maxima and minima correspond to the lobes and nulls in the far-field radiation pattern. The more antennas in an array, the higher the resulting gain of the main lobe. At the same time, the beam width of the main lobe is decreasing. The weaker beams aimed in different directions than the main lobe are called side lobes and are generally undesired and shrink with the growing size of the array. This principle is universal, regardless of what is the basic radiating element. Using patch antenna, parabolic dish, or a horn antenna will result in a radiation pattern with similar main features, the main beam and the side lobes. The spacing between the array elements determines the beam width of the main lobe. The further apart they are, the larger the physical size of the array, effectively decreasing the beam width. Also, the angles and the size of the side lobes change with the element spacing, because the fields add up differently for different antenna spacing. Arrays can be linear, resulting in a changing radiation pattern along the array axis, surface, resulting in changing radiation pattern along both axes, or conformal, to fit various surfaces of devices or larger systems. Most common example of an antenna array is a patch array antenna, where a number of patches is etched on a printed circuit board and fed through a symmetrical feeding network. Patch arrays are used in many applications, such as cellular network coverage, radars, or airplanes, due to the flexibility and affordability of the technology. If you find our videos useful, consider subscribing to our channel, give it thumbs up, or leave a comment.
O, di ba ang galing? Okay. So, nakita natin kung paano gumana yung mga array antennas. So, dito sa video na ito, ang ginamit niya ay mga patch antenna. An array of patch antennas. Pero yung nasa lecture ko, not necessarily patch antenna yan. No? Okay. So, kagaya nito, yung tinasabi ko dyan, parasitic array, kasi yung kaninang diniscuss niya, those are actually driven array. Lahat ay connected sa transmission line. Kagaya nung kanina, nakita natin na yung lahat ng patches, yung 4, directly connected dun sa generator or sa transmission line. Ano po? So, ang pinaka-famous ay ang Yagi antenna. Sa mga parasitic array, ang pinaka-famous ay ang Yagi Sonora. Oo nga. Kaya natawa ako kanina. A Yagi antenna is made of several driven elements, one or more parasitic elements. Tingnan natin ha, yung Yagi. How does a Yagi antenna work? Okay. So, alam niyo, mas masarap magturo kapag may internet eh. Kasi kapag may kailangan kang ipakita, di ba, ang daling maghanap. Okay. How does a Yagi antenna work? Dali-dali. Yan. O ito, yan. Yung maiksi lang. Ayun yung audio.
Welcome to the Data Alliance YouTube channel, where we demystify technology for everyone. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of Yagi antennas, a key player in the world of communication. Let's get started. First off, a quick history lesson. The Yagi antenna was invented in the 1920s by two Japanese engineers, Hidetsugu Yagi and Shintaro Uda. This antenna quickly became a fundamental tool for radio communication. At its core, the Yagi antenna consists of several key elements mounted on a straight line called the boom. The directors are passive elements that help focus the energy in a particular direction, enhancing the antenna's ability to transmit and receive signals efficiently. At the heart of the antenna is the driven element, which connects to the radio device. It's responsible for converting electrical power into radio waves and vice versa. Behind the driven element, you'll find the reflector. Its job is to reflect the radio waves, increasing the antenna's range and its ability to pick up weaker signals. When transmitting, electrical power from your device energizes the driven element, turning it into radio waves that are directed forward by the reflector and directors. Conversely, when receiving, these same elements capture radio waves from a specific direction, concentrating them onto the driven element. This brings us to a crucial feature of Yagi antennas, their directionality. Unlike omnidirectional antennas, a Yagi transmits and receives mostly in one direction. This makes it an excellent choice for applications where targeted communication is required. Here are the top 3 Yagi antenna pros. High gain. Yagi antennas can transmit or receive signals over greater distances in comparison with many other types of antennas. Directionality. Yagi antennas have a very directional radiation pattern, allowing for focused transmission and reception. This reduces interference and improves the signal-to-noise ratio. Simplicity and cost-effectiveness. Yagi antennas have a simple, straightforward design. This makes them a cost-effective solution for a wide range of wireless communication needs. And here are the top 3 Yagi antenna cons. Limited bandwidth. Yagi antennas typically have a narrow bandwidth, which means they are most efficient and perform best over a small range of frequencies. Size and wind load. High-gain Yagi antennas can become physically large, particularly for lower frequency bands. These antennas may require more robust mounting hardware. Complexity increases with gain. To achieve higher gain, a Yagi antenna requires more directors and sometimes additional reflectors, which can lead to a higher cost. Nevertheless, the Yagi antenna is a marvel of engineering. Whether it's for amateur radio, TV reception, cellular or Wi-Fi applications, the Yagi proves to be an incredibly effective antenna.
Okay, so yung Yagi antenna, ano po? So actually, yung iba doon, yun din yung laman ng aking presentation. Wait lang, nawala yung pag-present ko. Ayun. So anong nalaman natin tungkol sa Yagi antenna so far? Ano ang bumubuo sa isang Yagi antenna? Mula dun sa discussion na inyong napanood. Ano ang bumubuo sa isang Yagi antenna? Ang Yagi antenna ay may ano?
Boom, sir.
May ano po?
Tinatawag pong boom.
Ay, yung boom, actually, yun naman na yung support lang. It's just the mount where you, is the mechanical assembly where you mount the antenna. It's the boom. What else aside from that? Syra, Lamag? Ano yun, Neng? Hindi ko marinig. I can't hear you. Wala na, wala. Reflector. Tama, reflector. Ano ang purpose ng reflector? What is the purpose of the reflector? The reflector serves to prevent the radiation from going into a specific direction and reflecting it towards the direction where the director elements are located. No? Kung nasaan yung director elements, dun dapat pumunta ang radiation. So it's the job of the reflector element to prevent the radiation from getting in the opposite direction. So that is what makes the Yagi antenna directional. Unlike other antennas like the Marconi antenna, which is omnidirectional, or the dipole antenna, which has a bidirectional pattern, a Yagi antenna is unidirectional because it can focus the radiation into a specific direction. So of course, the gain and the directivity would depend on the number of director elements. If you want your antenna to have a higher gain and therefore more directive, you add more director elements. Sometimes you even add more reflector elements because usually there is just one reflector and several directors. So as mentioned in the video, the complexity of the antenna increases. The complexity increases if you want to achieve much higher gains because that would require more antenna elements, more director elements, more reflector elements, and of course, it would cost you more because more materials are used, and of course, the physical structure of the antenna would be more complex. No? Sa halip na mas simple yung antenna, nagiging mas komplikado ang itsura niya kasi mas marami na siyang antenna elements. That is if you want much higher gains. Okay? Nabanggit din sa video yung kahinaan or disadvantage ng isang Yagi antenna. Ano yun? What was mentioned there na naging disadvantage? Kasas.
Meron po siyang limited bandwidth.
Exactly. Yung kanyang limited bandwidth. Ang dahilan, kaya nagagamit lang sa over a certain narrow range of frequencies. Yung kanyang limited bandwidth. Okay? So, ulitin lang natin, yung Yagi antenna, ang pinaka-popular na parasitic array na imbento ng dalawang Hapon, si Yagi at saka si Uda. Kaya minsan tinatawag din niya na Yagi-Uda antenna. So, yung driven element niya, normally, yung nakita nyo kanina ay, ang ginamit niyang driven element ay folded dipole. But you can use a conventional dipole antenna na as the driven element. Pero again, yung nasa video nyo kanina, ang ginamit niya ay folded dipole. So we have one parasitic element called the reflector placed behind the driven element, and it is longer than the driven element actually. And several other parasitic elements called the directors placed in front. So the director elements, as you have noticed kanina, they are shorter than the driven element. So the driven element is normally a dipole antenna, okay, dipole antenna or a folded dipole antenna. The reflector is slightly longer than the driven element, while the directors are slightly shorter. And the spacing between elements is typically 0.2 lambda. That's the typical separation between the antenna elements. So look at the construction. Okay, so here we have the driven element in the form of a dipole antenna. After that, we have the reflector element, which is 5% longer than the driven element. And here we have a single director, which is 5% shorter than the driven element. But in reality, we normally use more than one director elements. If you want your antenna to be more directive, you use more than one director elements. And the direction of radiation is in the direction where the directors are located. So, ayan no, the directors are located here. So, dyan pupunta yung radiation. Okay? Let us search for another image. Radiation pattern of a Yagi antenna. Ayan. So dito, nakakita tayo ng radiation pattern na may pumupunta pa rin dito, maliit lang. So hindi na sila symmetrical. Dagdagan mo yan ng director elements, mababawasan to. No? If you add more director elements, this side lobe or back lobe will decrease. And the radiation will be focused in this direction. No? Ganun po ang ginagawa. Tingnan nyo, Areo. Ang daming director elements, so ang dami. Okay? As ito yung reflector. As ito yung radiation pattern niya. Mas naging directional yung ating radiation pattern as we can see. Naintindihan po ba? So ano ang radiation pattern ng isang Yagi antenna? Answer. What is the radiation pattern of a Yagi antenna? A Yagi antenna has a unidirectional radiation pattern. And its gain or directivity would depend on the number of antenna elements, the number of the director or the number of the reflector elements. Okay? So for this particular Yagi antenna, the gain is 12.21 dBi. And it has this radiation pattern. As we can see, more radiation is present in front. So nandito yung director elements at nasa likod naman yung reflector. Next. Another type of antenna array is what we call the driven arrays. Ano yun? In a driven array, all antenna elements are connected to the power source. That means all antenna elements are connected to the transmission line. No, there are no parasitic elements here. There are no parasitic elements. And all the elements are driven. Kaya ang tawag ay driven array. Each element receives energy from the transmission line, and the different arrangements of the elements produce different degrees of directivity and gain. So, there are three basic types of driven arrays: the collinear, the broadside, and the end fire array. Collinear, broadside, and end fire. Another one is the log periodic antenna. Fourth type, this is a wideband antenna, which is similar to Yagi, but the difference is that this has a much greater bandwidth than a Yagi antenna. Again, what are the four dominant examples of driven element antennas? We have the collinear, the broadside, the end fire, and the log periodic antenna. Okay, let's start with the collinear antenna. Anong meron sa isang collinear antenna? Imagine you have several dipoles and you connect the dipoles end to end. It's as if you connect them in series. That's how a collinear antenna looks like. No? It consists of 2 or more half-wave dipoles mounted end to end. Ayan. Bakit nga po ulit tayo gumagamit ng antenna array? What is the purpose of connecting 2 or more dipoles? What is the purpose or reason why we connect 2 or more dipole antennas in order to form an antenna array? What is the reason why? Kasas?
To create an antenna po which has ideal directivity po.
Not really ideal, but in order to come up with an antenna that has a greater gain and a better directivity. No? Greater gain and better directivity. That's the answer. Okay? Now, let us continue. So, ang collinear antenna, half-wave section yan. No? So, pakita ko nga sa inyo ang tunay na itsura ng collinear antenna. Images. Yan. Ganyan siya, oh. Tingnan ninyo. Ayan. Saan? Diyos ko yung image. Ito siya, oh. Several antennas. Dugtong-dugtong sila. Diba? These are dipole antennas. Folded dipole na pinagdugtong-dugtong naka-series, patong-patong, end to end. Or pwedeng ganitong itsura niya. So, ito yung radiation pattern niya. Bidirectional pa rin siya, but it's more directive than a conventional dipole. That's the reason why we interconnect them. Because we want to construct an antenna that has a better radiation pattern, meaning a more directive radiation pattern and higher antenna gain. That is the reason why. Okay? So collinear antennas are generally used only on VHF and UHF because their length becomes prohibited at lower frequencies. Alam mo naman na pinagdudugtong-dugtong yung antenna eh. So kung mababa ang frequency niyan, halimbawa, gamitin mo siya sa medium frequency. Sa medium frequency, ang haba ng antenna 10 metro lang mahigit. Isang dipole pa lang yun. 'Di ba? Kung pagkukonek-konektahin mo yun, minsan up to 30 meters yung dipole antenna mo kapag ka medium frequency. So, hindi na practical ang antenna size kung gagamitin mo siya below VHF. Kaya ginagamit lang siya for VHF and UHF bands because doon practical yung mapuproduce na antenna length. Ayan. No? Ito yung isang dipole. Ito yung isa pang dipole. Pinag-connecta natin sila together. Ito yung feed line. So ito short lang naman yung stub, no? 'Di ba ito ay dipole antenna. Isang quarter wavelength, sa gitna nila may conductor, may transmission line, isang stub, isang shorted stub so that this will act as a single antenna. Ngayon, dahil pinagdugtong mo sila, these two dipoles would act as a single antenna. Now, as we can see, it still has a bidirectional radiation pattern, just like the dipole antenna, but the difference is that it is now more directional. As we can see, its beam width is narrower as compared to the beam width of a typical dipole antenna. Okay po? So this is the radiation pattern of a 4-element collinear antenna. Broadside array. In a broadside array, you have several dipole antennas also, but you don't connect them end to end. Rather, you stack them on top of the other. No? Okay. Parang nakaparallel yung connection nila. You stack them on top of the other. Patong-patong sila. So a broadside array is a stacked linear antenna consisting of half-wave dipoles spaced from one another by 1/2 wavelength. This antenna produces a highly directional radiation pattern that is broadside or perpendicular to the plane of the array. So if the plane of the array is the screen, then the direction of the radiation, the maximum radiation will be in the direction perpendicular to the screen, no? Out of the screen and towards the screen. Ano po? So dalawa yan eh. Yung isa papunta sa harap ng screen, yung isa naman papunta sa likod ng screen. Parang ito yun, no? Kung ito yung plane ng broadside, papunta dyan ang radiation at saka papunta sa akin. Bidirectional pa rin siya. No? Ganun po. The broadside antenna is bidirectional in radiation but the radiation pattern has a very narrow beam width. Kasi nga, antenna array yan. Diba? We can still expect that just like a dipole antenna, it would retain its bidirectional radiation pattern but we can also expect that we can achieve that because of the higher gain, the beam width would be narrower. Mas manipis or mas narrow yung kanyang beam width. Okay po ba? Next. This is how the broadside antenna is constructed. So we have here several dipole antennas. Isang dipole at isang dipole. Ayan. Lagyan mo pa ng dipole antennas dyan kung gusto mo paramihin mo yung dipole. But how do you connect them? Naka-criss-cross yan, no? Ayan, no? Yung kanan na element nakakonekta sa kaliwa. Tapos yung kaliwang element nakakonekta sa kanan and so on. Ganun siya. So, this connection enables us to get the desired radiation pattern which is broadside. Kaya tinawag siya na broadside array. Again, kaya sa tinawag na broadside is kung yan mismo yung antenna, yung radiation yan ay papunta sa akin, no, sa side na ito, at palayo sa akin doon sa kabilang side. Kung inyong naiintindihan. Ano? Okay, magpakita tayo ng tunay na picture niyan. A broadside antenna array. Yan. This is an example of a broadside antenna array. Look at the antenna. Ito siya. Oh. At ang kanyang radiation pattern ay ganito. Ayan. Bakit unidirectional siya? Dapat meron sa kabila. Yan, ito. Yan. Radiation pattern ng broadside. Bidirectional pa rin siya. Wala bang tunay? Broadside antenna array. Real. Ay, wala. Hoy. Anyway, ganun ang itsura niya ha. Tingnan niyo yung interconnection niya. Ayan no. Naka-criss-cross yung connection ng mga antenna elements. Ano po? Okay. Aside from that, we have another, wait lang, tingnan natin. Saan gawa yung mga yan? Dipole antenna yan, no? Dipole antennas. Ang spacing, kalahati din ng wavelength. Ayan, no? Ang spacing ng antenna elements, kalahati rin ng wavelength. Yan. End-fire array. Ang end-fire array, halos kamukha ng broadside, pero yung connection ng antenna elements, magkaiba. Di ba kanina yung kaliwa, connected sa kanan, yung kanan connected sa kaliwa, naka-criss-cross yung connection nila. Pero yung end-fire, hindi ganon. Yung mga nasa kaliwa, connected sa isa't isa. Yung nasa kanan, connected sa isa't isa. Yun ang pinagkaiba ng end-fire array. So, it makes use of dipole antennas as well, na ang spacing ay 1/2 wavelength, kagaya ng broadside. Saan sila nagkaiba? Yung connection ng antenna elements. No. The end-fire array has a bidirectional radiation pattern but with narrower beam width and lower gain. The radiation is in the plane of the driven elements. Okay, tingnan natin to. Pwede kang gumawa ng highly directional directional antenna mula sa isang end-fire array by selection of optimal number of elements with appropriately related spacing. Tingnan nyo po, yan. Ito yung dipole antennas mo. You stack them on top of each other. Now, lahat ng nasa kaliwa, konektado sa isa't isa. Lahat ng nasa kanan, konektado sa isa't isa. So, kapag dinamihan mo yung antenna elements at tama ang spacing, you can create a unidirectional radiation pattern. Pero originally, yan ay bidirectional. Pero pwede mo siyang gawing unidirectional kung i-adjust mo ang number of driven elements and even the spacing. Ano po? Ayan o. Kanina, yung typical nating construction is lambda over 2 ang spacing. Pero kung mag-a-add ka ng antenna elements, not necessarily lambda over 2. No? But your D, spacing should be less than lambda. Okay? Kasi pag lambda over 2, at kakaunti yung antenna elements mo, bidirectional ang kanyang radiation pattern. Now, you add more driven elements and you change the spacing such that the spacing is still less than lambda. And you'll get a unidirectional radiation pattern. So, search natin din sa Google. End fire antenna array. Yan. So, ito yung radiation pattern niya. Ayan, no? Wala. Yan. Ito yung end fire at ito yung radiation pattern niya. So, kung kukumpara natin, yung broadside, ito yun, no? Ito yung broadside at ito yung end fire array mo. Okay? End fire. Okay. May nag-chat ba? Wala naman. So, we're almost done, guys. Sabi ko sa inyo hanggang 12, di ba? Hanggang 12. Patapos na po tayo. This one is the last, the log periodic antenna. Isa-isang type din ng driven array antenna, pero wide ang kanyang bandwidth. At ito yung ginagamit na antenna sa pagre-receive ng TV signals nung hindi pa uso ang CAT-V. So the lengths of the driven elements vary from long to short and are related logarithmically. Kaya log periodic siya. The spacing is also variable. So anong advantage ng Yagi antenna or ng log periodic kumpara sa Yagi? Mataas yung gain pero malaki yung kanyang bandwidth. So yun ang kanyang advantage over the Yagi antenna. Ano? It has a very wide bandwidth. So most TV antennas in use today, actually in the past, hindi na today, most TV antennas used in the past are of the log periodic variety so that they can provide high gain and directivity on both the VHF channels and the UHF TV channel. Ano itsura niyan? Ganito po yung itsura ng log periodic antenna. Ayan, no? Ganyan po yung itsura. So sa totoong buhay, hanap tayo, no, ng itsura ng log periodic antenna. Ayan. Yung sinaunang antenna na ginagamit ng mga TV. Ganyan po. Yan. Kung nakakita na kayo, yan, log periodic antenna yan. So, pwede kayo mag-design ng ganito, guys, if you want. And this antenna is also doable. So kung gusto nyong gumawa ng tunay na antenna, this is one of the antennas which you can design and also doable. Okay? So kapag ang antenna ay gagawin ninyo, hindi kailangan masyado ang novelty. Okay? Yan. Kung gagawin nyo ang antenna, hindi kailangan ang novelty. Pero kung design lang ang gagawin mo sa antenna, kailangan may novelty. Yun ang mahalagang consideration nyo sa pagpili ng antenna na inyong gagawin. If you're going to just design an antenna, there should be some element of novelty. But if your antenna, you want to construct a real antenna not much novelty is required. No? Kailangan lang tama yung design procedure, ipakita mo yung mahalagang antenna parameters, yung standing wave ratio, reflection coefficient, yung gain, yung efficiency ng antenna. Nakukuha yan sa simulation. But of course, we lack actual tools and instruments so that we can test your antenna. But if you can find ways on how we can test your antennas using actual devices, then we can compare the performance. For example, this is the SWR that we got from the simulation tool, and this is the SWR that we got from actual measurements. Yan, pwede po yung gawin. Kung magko-construct kayo ng totoong antenna, so I'm giving you the option to construct real antennas na without much novelty required, pero kinakailangan makapag-measure pa rin tayo ng mga antenna parameters. Now, kung magde-design ka lang ng antenna, tile design lang yan, kailangan ng element of novelty. Okay? So actually, we're done with antennas. No? Tapos na po tayo. We're able to finish before 12. Ang sabi ko, ang klase natin hanggang 12. Late na ako nag-start. Natapos pa rin tayo before time. So that's it, guys. Ano po? Do you have any questions? May tanong po ba kayo? Ito sa inyong design project. So dapat makapag-present na kayo next week. Isa pang problema, since wala tayong pasok ngayon at dapat may klase ang section 2 at saka section 3, hindi na naman tayo nakapag-meet. So, makukulangan na naman kayo. Anyway, magla-laboratory activity naman tayo. Pero yun pala ang mamimiss ninyo. Bakit? Kasi ang inyong na-miss ay yung 2-hour meeting. 'Di ba? Or 3-hour meeting. Eh, doon tayo magla-laboratory. Anyway, bahala na. Kung saan man abutin, eh di yun. No? Magla-laboratory activity tayo kasi nakita ko yung trainer na meron tayo sa antenna. So, dun sa 3-hour meeting natin, i-explore natin kung paano gamitin yun. After nyong mai-present yung inyong antenna topics. Okay po ba? First, ipe-present nyo muna yung inyong antenna topics, yung proposed antenna design niyo. After that, we will proceed to the lab activity. Okay? That's what we'll be having this week. Yes, Ivan, ano yun? Asas?
Sir, confirm ko na po kung kailan po ipe-present yung antenna po. Yung antenna design po.
Ay di, na-miss nyo na yung meeting today, na face-to-face, eh doon sa sunod dating meeting.
Then, sir, tanong ko lang po kung paano po yung setup sa presentation po. Like, dapat ba po i-compile po namin sa isang drive yung mga presentation po? Tapos ipe-present po sa unahan or parang ipapasa lang po yung progress?
Siguro para madali, i-compile nyo na lang sa isang drive, tapos i-share nyo sa akin, tapos sa laptop ko, doon natin i-access.
Noted po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay, sige, salamat. Okay na. Any more questions, guys? Any more clarifications? So kung wala na, then I'd like to thank all of you for attending even though it's a holiday. Kasi wala naman tayo ibang time na pwede mag-meet na. Kasi walang pasok nga ngayon, pati yung araw na ngayon, na-miss natin yung klase natin sa school, nagpatong na, kumbaga. So I really appreciate you making time to attend our class today. So that's it. You can have your lunch na if you want and study in preparation for the quiz. Okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.